Hello, Medipreneurs. Today we are talking to Ben Coakley. Ben is doing a workshop on Saturday from 4 to 5:30. The title is Choosing the Right Business Moving Forward for You and the 5 Steps Required to Make It Happen. Ben, we're thrilled you're here. We have a lot of people who are full of great ideas and a little worried about how the finances work. So you are the right guy at the right time. Tell us about your workshop.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this. We have been to the last 2 Medipreneurs events, and we can't think of a better event to help spearhead and move this profession into the next phase of whatever that's going to be. And yeah, absolutely. When we talk to people who are, I call them entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And they want to become Medipreneurs, or they want to become an entrepreneur and certain things like that. And a lot of times the things that hold them back are things like, can we make this leap? Are we financially ready to make this leap? Do we have the commitment from the people who care about us, or we most care about? We share the vision of what we're trying to do, those kind of things. And there's really 4 elements that we try to address. Number 1 is the financial side. Number 2, the legal side. You've got to protect yourself. The actual business side, what is it going to be that we're going to bring to the market? Right. Is it marketable? Is it something that people will value and pay money for? And then number 4, probably the one that's most overlooked, the emotional side of things, because it is an emotional thing to make this leap. And sometimes when the emotions are the primary driver, it can prevent us from doing things.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I've had 2 conversations just in the last few days with people who are like, I can't do it anymore. It's too scary. I've hit a wall. And that's why we do Medipreneurs, is so that we can call each other when those days come, because they come for each of us. And somebody talks you off the ledge and said, tomorrow's going to be a better day, and this thing is going to be resolved, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely, Michelle. That's really important. We have a concept we created called the pharmacy owner lifecycle. Now, we originally designed it for brick and mortar pharmacy owners, but there's some great knowledge and things that we have learned over the last 40 years working with pharmacy owners. It's hard to say that I personally have not. My father, would a little more gray hair on his head. So he's seen, he actually helped a pharmacy owner start his business, and he helped him transition out of his business. So he's seen he's worked at a pharmacy owner through the entire life cycle. But one of the things that we address in the life cycle is when you're in the startup phase of your business, it's important to do 2 things. Focus only on the essentials. Okay. Now you really probably need to do that through the entire life cycle of your business or your professional development. But it's extremely important in the first part, the startup, because sometimes we overcommit to things. I personally have this challenge. My team would tell you that and my wife would tell you really, that I am, what did she say? I am unrealistically optimistic.
I've heard that for myself as well.
Yeah. I'm unrealistically I think I bite off more than I can chew, right? Well, in the startup phase of your business, it's important that you don't do that. It's equally as important what you say no to as it is what you say yes to. And then and Michelle, the other thing that we really, really focus on through the entire life cycle is the people, the advisors you surround yourself with. Yeah. Okay. That's super important. You have certain types of advisors that are good fit at certain points of the life cycle, but as your business grows, you can outgrow your advisors. I've had people that call me and say, I need something different. Well, in that first phase, when things are going crazy and the emotions, and I don't know if I can do this. I got to push through this ceiling of complexity or whatever you want to call it. Well, oftentimes it's the advisor going to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, oh, you know what? I've seen that before. Let me connect you with this other person so they can talk you through how they got through this, or this is what they shared with me. So I think it's important that you focus on the essentials, and particularly in that first part. And then, as I say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Have people that really care and that can really help you work through these things.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I agree. The people I've turned to, maybe it's not necessarily outgrowing them, but having different needs.
Yeah.
The more people you have, you can call with different skill sets is really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michelle, when I say outgrow, this everything's about relationships, right? We're relational beings. God designed us that way, I feel, to have relationships with people.
Right.
And a lot of times, as you grow, the relationships sometimes some will take more importance than others. And it's just one of those things where it's the unfortunate kind of as we grow. I'll give you a great example. When I was 27, 28 years old, I took a look in the mirror one day and I listen, I had a nice house. I had lots of really good things going for me. Mm-hmm. And I looked in the mirror one day and I said, is this all? Is this everything? And when I realized I had bigger goals and things that I wanted to accomplish, not necessarily business goals, but personal goals, just charitable goals, things like that I wanted, things that I cared about.
Yeah.
And then I had to ask myself, do I have the right relationships in my life at this point? And it turns out that what I wanted and how I spent my time and my resources, they didn't line up. And the people that were demanding my time were not the people that were going to help me accomplish my goals. And again, I had to prune the hedges. The limbs that weren't bearing fruit in my life.
Yeah.
And that was a hard thing to imagine, me 27 to have to do that and to sever relationships with friends from high school because and of course, when I explained this to them, they did not understand, Michelle. I mean, of course, they weren't like, oh, yeah, great. You're telling me we're not going to be friends anymore? No, that's not what I was telling them. What I was telling them was like, I care about you. You are important to me. However, my needs have changed and my desires and my goals have changed. Therefore, I need to find people who will challenge me. I need to find people who are doing things better than I am, so I can learn from them. So it's a very tough thing to do. It's a very hard thing because we care about people, and I can promise you, if you're a pharmacist, you do care about people. That's one thing that's the one thing I know. When my wife took the pharmacist oath when she graduated, if you don't care about people, this is probably not the right profession for you. So that is a challenge, Michelle. As your needs change, you really have to focus on who you're surrounding yourself with. So people that can either help you grow, build you up, or are they people that are dragging you down and not allowing you to grow?
These are good points. And I will tell you something that we've talked about in Medipreneurs and informing Medipreneurs. You can have wonderful people in your life, but if they are only familiar with working under someone else's employment, always for an employer, being an entrepreneur may be such a scary idea for them that they can't grasp it, and they're going to warn you about all the reasons not to do it. So you've got to be talking to people who've taken the risk, understand the risk, succeeded in the risk, in order to help you reach those goals.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that you don't value their opinion. I mean, that's, right. It's just they're coming from a different perspective, and and what's interesting about it is I have friends in the corporate world who work for corporations or work for somebody, and there are times where I need their opinion on certain things, and I pick up the phone and call them and get their opinion. Maybe maybe Michelle, maybe they're in the operations department, and I'm trying to figure out a solution on how to better do something internally. I mean, so there you can find value in in talking to those people. Michelle, the big thing we need to worry about and the big thing we need to avoid are the people that really try to tear it down. Yeah. And those are the people when you call, they'll say, no, you can't do it. It's not possible. How dare you think that way? You're putting your family in jeopardy. Those kind of things. Those are the people. And misery loves company, Michelle. I mean, and I remember a story my dad told me one time about my mom and how my mom used to walk in the morning with one of her neighbors, and that neighbor and her husband were going through some serious marriage challenges.
Yeah.
And they would talk, and evidently this lady would just really just let her husband have it, to my mom, just dump the bucket, as we say. And my mom would come home and she would just feel so awful, and she'd just take it out on my dad. And so finally my dad was like, Marcia, I really don't want you walking with her anymore. She's not a really good influence in your life. And, my mom thought about it. She's like, you're right. She's never really happy. She's never happy. She's never satisfied with what she has. And maybe that's not somebody I want, in my life. So there are people like that. Sometimes they're family members too, Michelle, and that in itself is something that you have to be cautious of.
Yeah.
Just because they can tear you down, and they can, destroy your self-esteem.
True. Let's come back to your session for a second.
Yep.
What would people take away if they came to your workshop?
Yeah, well, okay. First thing is we're really going to dive into kind of what's working in the marketplace right now. I think that we at Waypoint have a little bit of a unique perspective because we know what brick and mortar pharmacy owners are doing. So we know what services that they can really use, and what we're actually coaching them to do, which is a great fit for what Medipreneurs can offer. So if you're thinking, hey, I want to bring a solution to the market, and I want to do it maybe not necessarily straight to the consumer, but from the business to pharmacy owners, then we can provide some really good insight into what's working and what these owners are really looking for to help them be more successful. And so that's the first thing. The other thing is we're going to talk about the 5 steps. And, those things that you have to do, the essential things that you need to do, that's going to take you from this entrepreneur, I want to do it, to being able to pull the trigger and, and do it and make that leap. Because again, the way I feel is God wants us all to maximize our potential, Michelle, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to talk about specifically is going to allow everybody to fully unlock that potential, and remove the barriers. Michelle, we as a team at Waypoint, in our staff meetings, we always talk about the biggest limiting factor in anything that we do is what's between our ears.
Oh, yes.
And so those types of things, the psychology and the emotion, we're really going to dive into it. And it's going to be an awesome workshop. It's going to be things, I promise, you've never heard before. And it may be something that's preventing you from making that leap. And you're going to go, I know what he's talking about, because I've been there. I've thought about that. I've had that emotion come up, and hey, there's 2 or 3 ways we can actually work through to make sure that this doesn't become a roadblock moving forward.
Love that. I know that so many people are going to flock to your session and learned so much there. Let us get to know you a little bit. Tell us about Ben and how you got to this point and what's happening in your life.
Yeah, well, Michelle, I don't know how much time we have, but I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I live with my wife. We split time between Greenville, South Carolina, and Jefferson City, Missouri. We have 3 kids. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
Oh.
So we have a lot going on. My wife is a pharmacist. So she actually owns her own company, wellness company. So she attended Medipreneurs last year and really was motivated and came out of that conference and said, hey, I don't want to be a traditional dispensing pharmacist. I think I have much more to offer patients than just that. And she started her own wellness company and has been doing very well with that, helping patients create personal accountability plans for their wellness. So I mean, in my company, Waypoint, we've been in business. We haven't operated as Waypoint. We've only been operating as Waypoint for about 10 years now. But we've served pharmacy and served the pharmacy industry for about 45 years. And so we have extensive knowledge into this industry. And when I tell you, when the Medipreneurs concept, I first heard about it from Blair Thielemeyer, and she actually was talking to her about doing some work together, and she said, I'm going to be in Asheville. So I said, oh, okay. And so I bought my ticket, and awesome. I bought it. I came as a regular attendee, yeah. And that's where I met all y'all. And y'all were like, what do you do? You're not a pharmacist here. I said, I want to learn what's going to drive this industry moving forward, and what are the innovative things that we can do to really impact patients' lives, and then how best can my company serve you as a Medipreneur to help you achieve your goals. And so that's how I was introduced to this, and obviously I came to Asheville for that first conference, fell in love with the people and the energy behind it, and immediately went back and called my brother, our CEO, and said, I think we found something that we can really help, and it's really going to drive innovation in this in the industry, excuse me. And I explained to him a little bit about it, and he said, I'm coming next year. So he was there next year with me, and he came away thinking the same thing, Michelle, like this is the tip of the spear for helping people think through how to create value as a pharmacist and then turn it into a business. And that to me is so exciting. And that's why we can't wait to be there in a few weeks. It's hard to believe it's about 8 weeks out, I guess, right?
Quickly, yes. Well, we're so
y'all aren't busy, are you? Y'all aren't busy at all, are you?
No, not at all. We're so grateful that your interaction, your participation has just increased, and that you understand what our Medipreneurs need to make this financial leap. So
yeah.
So excited you're going to be there. Can't wait for people to have the opportunity to talk to you.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing everybody, and awesome. Enjoy the spring weather if it's coming your way, because Lord, we need some in Missouri.
The groundhog said it's coming.
I hear you. It's still snowing here. I don't know what the groundhog was thinking, but yeah. So enjoy it. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in April.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.